Hi guys, and welcome to the Rainbow Six Replays YouTube channel. Today we want to present the video highlights of the playoff match between Spacestation Gaming and Team Soniqs during the North America League 2024 Stage 2. Don't forget to subscribe and put a like. Enjoy.
Halfway through the round and both teams have lost one player.
Yeah, you can see right now for the Soniqs again, temptively trying to push in through the bottom of these stairs, but it is taking a moment here. Ambi on the read though, will catch faults, and there goes Forrest as well.
Shield going very loud in the ears of Benjamaster's Valkyrie. Throws out a Nitro Cell, desperate attempt. Doesn't get the kill with it, but through the chaos, it's Ashen to pick off Ambi. Benja, who's been very, very good as the stats showed, it was really a quiet first round. Canadian getting the plant down. Ashen finds his heal, and well, it's the team captain of Soniqs to pull it off. Ashen doing a considerable amount of damage, but he hasn't been able to get the blitz out of that position. Benjamaster isolated by Surf, and now Canadian is in, and the pain train arrives on schedule, sending Ashen to the net. But I think it's a little bit personal for Troy. 1-0 for Soniqs.
That was a very nice shot from Ambi, continuing his fine form from yesterday as the desk, couch, whatever you want to call the group of analysts that did the pregame, done from the exterior.
And J90, the man of the hour, who's been very good for SSG, will fire away in the smoke, do some damage to Canadian, who survives for the time being. Grixer's died as well. He's had very minimal impact over these two rounds, this time playing Ash. Utility might have been used, but the kills will go to waste. Rexon and Canadian combining for less than one player's worth of HP. That puts an awful lot on the shoulders of Surf, who's 3-0 to start this matchup. SSG realized they have to get to the diffuser, right? Ashen waiting for the call to go for the jump out on events. There he goes. Surf is waiting for it. Rexon had gotten a kill just moments before. J90 rushing on in with Forrest, and it's 2 in a row.
Touched on a critical point here. You know, lots of talk about the game later on this evening at the conclusion of this one between Spoit and Bolo. Dude, Ashen and Canadian. It was all the talk of the Atlanta Major, and here a year later, we're starting to see the return.
Which is a good call because there's still 2 in the pocket of Space Station, as right now it's the gas canisters from Forest Smoke, who sits on 2 HP, doing some serious work. Ashen, the first casualty, dying at the hands of Grixer. Rexon dies shortly thereafter. Rexon having quite a slow start. Nitro Cell unsheathed, picked apart by Surf, but Benja has the last laugh. He's now under fire. Forrest still on 2 HP. Things are grim for Soniqs, but they do at the moment have an HP advantage. And there's still 30 seconds left to find these last 2 players for Space Station and prevent them from getting that diffuser down. The diffuser, which, by the way, has just been retrieved by Canadian. Grixer will be the one to cover here. Behind the Talon shield. There goes the plant. Grixer narrowing himself down, keeping himself healthy. Diffuser cannot go down because of the Nitro Cell. Now is Grixer taking some damage. A nice spray transfer. Forrest dies to the track stingers, and it's a rush around as now Grixer needs to get the diffuser down. I don't think he's going to have time.
Advantage for Space Station, but like you said, health advantage for the Soniqs on that attack. They reacquired the diffuser, they got into the objective, and all of a sudden, in the span of, I think, half a second, pretty sure it was Forrest, yeah, who was on 2 HP, downed himself by walking into a grid track, and then Grixer on the immediate snap to Benja. It's the jump out that saves the round, and then Grixer playing hot potato between the diffuser and attempting to run.
Has been very minimal.
I was gonna say, since the conclusion of round 1, I don't think Ambi's lived more than a cumulative 90 seconds out of CCTV as they look to progress through the map and attack towards Ventilation and Workshop. But here comes Grixer now on the Twitch outside of the vent window as Rexon collects off screen onto Benja and will laugh in his face as well. The collection as well continues. Outside of the vent window, Canadian picks up Forrest, and now it's a 2v4 for Space Station to fight out of.
Canadian, who, by the way, has not technically died because he was bleeding out in the previous round. It's not really a position that we tend to see the captain of Soniqs in. SSG's numbers continue to get worse. Canadian finds a second kill as Fultz is removed. And now J90 is the last line of defense upstairs, and he's on the run, getting some damage done before finding Surf in the wrong direction.
To Los, who statistically are not on an equal playing field to a team like Space Station. So if you're an SSG fan, there's still hopium. There's still something in the gas tank for later on. But for right now,
SSG and Canadian is off to the races. Already looking for an isolation to try to track down J90. He's picked off first by Rexen, but Benja actually strikes first before anybody else does. Foltz finds himself in an awkward spot, inches away from Canadian. And oh my goodness, again, that pain train, it's always on schedule today, Rob. It means that Ashen is the only player on SSG unaccounted for. Forrest has been found over inside of Bathroom behind the deployable shield. He manages to pick off Canadian for Forrest to get his very first kill. That's a big win. Now Forrest will have to deal with the other 3 players of Soniqs, and there's about to be another death mark on the board for Rexen. Grixer and Ambi are still in play too. You can make a very credible argument that these are the 3 prongs of the attack for SQ, and boy oh boy do they strike right in the heart.
3 defenders, 1 from above towards CCTV and 2 directly inside of Customs. They all try to converge on Canadian and the Blitz, and yet they find nothing for it. And yeah, I talked about it coming in as well as we were loading up, that you don't want to replicate the same slow start the Soniqs had yesterday. Ambi's allowed to live for more than 90 seconds of the round. He gets the opener, but he cannot tack on for more. It's False with the response. So much control inside a workshop. He's been droned out, and he doesn't look like he's going to last much longer.
Oh, Benja expecting Grixer, and he says goodbye. Benja winning a world championship on G2 at SI in Montreal. And he is eager to go back into that city and make some serious noise. He manages to take out Rexen, but it's a perfect trade. It's odd we don't see those all that much these days. Canadian thinks he's under watch, being surveilled at some point. He and Surf combining for 11 kills. That's quite the tally. There's a read through the wall, but Canadian is in trouble. He sees that there's a ping as well, and it's Ashen with the super shorty out to tackle that obstacle. Surf running out of time. J90 finishes him off. And no 5-1-half, Rob, as you had speculated for.
Position, and with no time really on the clock for the Soniqs to operate with, they had to flood. And there was no more response after that as Canadian was isolated inside of ventilation with the diffuser, which is never a position you want to be in. And I think for Space Station, a good salvage.
That's Surf, not Fultz. By the way, it shows Fultz on your screen, but we were actually watching one of the defenders as the DMR in the hands of the Aruni will not be put to use. Ashen striking first, Space Station. Ashen in particular doing very well to draw first blood, Rob, and well, SSG just walked right into the bomb site.
They walk right in, they deal with the mirror window from an elevated Twitch drone. The plant is going down as Canadian has been downed, but not out on his return through 90. As Ambi tries to push into CC with his comrade of Rexen, but they all fall down at the end. Space Station. For plant denial, he's opted to go for a venture elsewhere. Ambi, though, will also go for a venture out these stairs. Say goodnight to Ashen and Fultz as the diffuser as well. Not sure if Ambi caught that in his melee, but at the very...
Especially not when you've not clawed your way back, but you were 2 rounds away from drawing even, and you'd managed, or in particular, there hasn't been a lot of damage done to Soniqs. Yeah, Ambi and Rexen have taken their beating, but they're still very alive. Forrest through the soft wall. He's 2-8. Those are dreadful numbers in a very important match. Forrest dies at the hands of Rexen, and now with 40 seconds left, J90 has plenty of time to think about next steps. And those steps actually involve some damage. As he walks up middle, takes some damage from the barbed wire. They know exactly where he is, and multiple players from SQ wanted that kill, but only one.
The Soniqs still have yet to really find a home on defense. Losing Armory so convincingly, like you said, often the primary bomb site. We go to a Vent Workshop defense that had very little to do with Vent Workshop itself. So they'll take their advantage topside and continue to press the clear, knowing that they are 1 down on the objective. Ooh. And Rexen, though, will immediately equalize onto the man who
is an integral part of this team. And now with 8 kills, leading the entire team, though Ambi, Grixer, and Surf are all tied with 7 kills right behind. You're going to need a big performance from Rexen. Even bigger now as Surf has died to Ashen. Rexen is holding court over lobby. He'll lose some of that protection as Fultz charges on in. Rexen had thrown those Q mines and faded away, and Fultz will find them with his feet. 20 seconds remaining. Canadian with 1 pick. SSG's numbers continue to drop. Forrest with Diffuser, he's 2 and 8. He needs some kills, or he needs the rest of his team to get them as he walks that Diffuser into the bomb site, but he has to get there first. Ashen decapitating Ambi, as you so eloquently put it earlier. Fultz dropped, Ashen looking for another kill. Rexon and Canadian just need to survive the next few seconds. Diffuser going down by Forrest. Ashen over top. 9 kills, Rexon swinging around, and SSG doesn't give them the kill. They peel off the play away from it becoming 15 and 4.
This is just a very impressive response from the Soniqs. Again, facing early trepidation with that opening pick. Rexerfeld inside
Map, so he's not always involved in the killing. Canadian being picked off first as the smoke is an excellent start for SSG. They also grab Ambi, who peeks and gets destroyed by Fultz, so I guess he heard me speaking ill of him and tightened up his game.
Defensive side. Grixer taking damage off screen as well, seemingly from down below as Benja stays alive, but he gets flanked upon by Rexon, dropping down below. We saw this in the previous round. Now the bomb site, which is Armory and Archives, is still held, and Forrest will flash out Rexon on the middle stairs, and now they all flood into the objective.
And there's the shield. Forrest catches Surf, completely blind like a sitting duck. Grixer tossing up the desperate Nitro cell, and he's isolated. Is Forrest going to get a third? Yes, he will. What a round by Space Station. Forrest in particular, as a coach, since SI in Montreal 2 years ago, has been extraordinarily good. His vision and his idea and his understanding of the game, all of those things are terrific.
Long into the mirror windows will be Ashen with the Ash charges that could be capable of dispatching those. But for the time being, the mirror window stands tall, and Ashen taking damage. Rexon on the swing, and he'll go for 2. Rexon obliterating Ashen and Fultz outside a break room. And all of a sudden, those mirror windows, they will stand the test of time. And now Space Station peeling back to the bomb site. Out of desperation, Canadian will cut down Benja. It's just the Blitz still left alive from Forrest, and J9O's Twitch walking into a goo mine.
I know, in a 1v4, which is really quite dreadful and an unfortunate situation to find himself in. Surf, who is upstairs holding over top of the bomb sites, goes on drone. Forrest gets punished. J9O as the last attempt to save Space Station's map. He won't get it done. Ambi, the final kill, and Soniqs are 1 map away.
We're on LATAM, and now we get to share the NAL day, at least for one day, because Jesse had more important things to do today. But like you said,
he's at a wedding, by the way. just in case you're curious.
Yeah, he chose a wedding that isn't his own over Canadian versus Ashen and Spoit versus Bolo. So all
grade has been very low in North America, as we stated in the border matchup. Both of those maps. Server
walls. You can see Forrest on the Clash having to react to the force being brought by the Soniqs, but Surf from down below, his second kill with that supernova this round. And now it's a man advantage reestablished as the Candelas come soaring in.
Soaring, flying, some would even say twirling. Space Station now with their shotguns out, trying to meet the aggression of Soniqs as they advance closer to the bomb site. It's some shield-on-shield action. How savory that is. Canadian trying his best to deal with Forrest. J9O has taken quite a lot of damage, but he's still upright. Now he's gone to Rexon. Grixer eliminated at the hands of Forrest, and now Surf is dropped inside of the hallway, getting closer to this bomb site. Canadian boxed out at the moment, dancing around the gas, and he's dropped by the electricity of the Clash, leaving just Rexon, who might be able to pick up a kill here, doing an awful lot of damage to Forrest in the process. He's running out of time, so what does he have to do? Get Canadian up. The last two players from Space Station licking their chops. Is it Ashen? Is it Forrest to get the final kill? Neither.
Work themselves out of a jam. Really, Forrest continuing to deal death blow after death blow, 5 HP at a time with the Clash electrocution. Now for the Soniqs, you feel pretty good about your opening to that round.
Casting a lot of Brazil, and we've seen this map a number of times. It doesn't really shock me. Some of the teams really like to go here, but it hasn't been played once in Japan, which kind of shocked me. Like, I expected it to. It's been played twice in Korea, and I think just from my numbers, I think Japan's the only region that hasn't played it. I could be incorrect here, but yeah, I mean, the numbers are all over the place, and it's a very low pick rate, irrespective of the numbers. Now, this round has just completely imploded.
Attackers in waiting positions, double dropping the hatch does not seem like the most optimal solution.
I mean, I really admire that Fultz and J9O have lasted this long, Rob, but what do you do? So you're running out of time. The round was effectively over. Ambi gets the very final kill. It's a formality, but if SQ can just forego a lot of that.
Of top control, making sure that there's no soft destruction being employed by the defense to disrupt any plant attempts as the exterior breach was opened up, but now everyone pouring towards the bomb site. The Soniqs getting picked apart, but at least Grixer has one response.
Oh, there's that super shorty again from Ashen. Didn't he do the exact same thing to Soniqs on border? Last two players from SQ will drop on in, and Surf, who was one of the two pickups for SQ this stage, showing his worth. The pre-fire now will take out Surf, leaving Ambi as last man standing, and the keep away that will happen from Ashen as he types in the chat.
And he's holding that thing for dear life because that is the objective of the video game on the attacking side, is to plant the bomb. And you can even see the look through the wall there.
We stand.
Yeah, it was very early aggression onto Surf. He's dropped 20 HP. He wasn't downed and revived. He just took that exact amount of damage in the process, and yet it's the Soniqs for the time being. The soft destruction in towards bunks, which is very powerful. There aren't many places you can plant for free in the objective, and that is what Soniqs are about to learn.
Ashen with one pick, and around the corner he goes with shotgun in hand. That puts Canadian in an awkward spot. He cannot get that diffuser down. He doesn't know where the last players are. He finds Forrest. That's actually Rexon to do that damage. Rexon is still hunting for more. Right now in Projector, looking up through the holes in the ground. Ashen picks off Canadian. He's got 4 kills so far, and Rexon will deny the ace. Maybe, hold on. Ashen has a golden opportunity, and he'll do it.
That's a great motivation booster because Border was opening pick territory for Ashen, especially on the defensive side. But like Fox and Lax talked about on the couch, not a lot followed after that. So it feels like a momentum killer. If able to do the bathroom double window, waiting for the approach, and yet the Soniqs, after acquiring that opening pick, they've done nearly all the health necessary to Benja, and finally a headshot will do the final blow as Benja will fall. It's a 5v3 advantage once again for the Soniqs, but the site control still remains nearly impervious for Spacestation.
Shotgun on the come up for Fultz as he catches Ambi looking. And that's a very crucial avenue now being held by Spacestation as they are still behind in numbers. Fultz looking for one more, and he'll have to pick his poison. 2 separate players from Soniqs inches away. His focus is on Grixer, who he'll have to deal with a shotgun, and Grixer puzzlingly wins that engagement with a single point of HP. Talk about too close for comfort. J9O out-muscling Rexon. Grixer's been dropped, and Surf is the last one up, and he's on a collie. That is not great. Looking for the non-shield is... Oh my! He quickscopes Forrest! A drop from J9O. The sidearm will come out. Forrest trying to draw him out, and Forrest saves the round! Goodness.
It was Grixer as well, who on that 1 HP remaining, on Forez, vaulted in through display window and got downed and ultimately finished off by barbed wire. So welcome to the new update, Grixer. And again, Surf. Disgusting!
Earlier today, locking in teams, and spoilers, if... What was he looking at?
Well, that's the thing, and again, the Soniqs able to very swiftly and very easily wander their way in. Grixer with another one on default as he walks down the blue stairs. And really, there's no opposition being brought by Spacestation. Finally pulling one back, but Rexon, he'll clean up for 2 to wrap up the round. And the Soniqs, they decimate anchors.
Like the happiest player on the squad, you don't have very much time to recenter yourself for the next match. Opening has given a window that the blitz of Forrest can look through. Took Forrest a while to get his feet under him this round. He seems to have found it already. Border was a slow start, but his value was big in the later rounds, even if SSG came up empty-handed. If Forrest can turn on the Jets for the attack, SSG will be in great shape. Benja dies 0-6, still searching for his very first kill. That is not good for Spacestation whatsoever. Forrest had taken some damage at the breach as well. Surf is down for the count. So all told, all things even. Vault in now, heading towards the B-bomb site. Forrest in display, out-dueled by the Legion, but Ashen is there for backup. Ambi with one. Ashen's patience is rewarded. And suddenly, another will swing towards the window. Rexon keeping numbers close. My God, the kill onto J90. Half of the battle is occurring in chat. Soniqs looking for their very first lead on this map, and it's the old teammates to do battle. Canadian and Fultz in a 1v1. Canadian will play keep away. Fultz no access to the diffuser, and no time for space.
Is one, and they were correct in that assumption, and they committed to the bit, for lack of a better term. And now, like you saw at the end there, Canadian identifying Fultz did not have control of that diffuser, lost in the flood of
for SSG, but we've got plenty of tools to cut through it. No rush in. Over top of the bomb site. Down goes Rexon. He was baited by Forrest. Fultz credited with that kill, and now it's Forrest under fire as he finds himself inside a medical. Following up on the Fenrir, who's blind as a bat. SSG dominating Soniqs this round. 1 minute and 40 seconds to go, and Surf is the last man standing. What was the question I asked a couple rounds ago, Rob, was can SSG find their footing quickly and do something that SQ struggled to do through 4 rounds? The answer so far seems to be yes. I mean, Soniqs obviously won that very first round, but SSG have pivoted and done so quite gracefully. Nice kill by Surf onto Ashen. The walls, the proverbial walls, will close in on him as Blitz lurks menacingly. J90 credit with the final kill, and we have a tie game yet again.
away from the objective. It gives you very little time and utility to actually put the bomb down.
Oh my, a nice nitro cell from Ambi, and Forrest is left scratching his head at that one. Ambi, not psyched at all. He knows there's more work to be done. As now Benjo will wrap around looking for a pick onto the Fenrir Canadian. Canadian's been a sitting duck, a target dummy so far through this matchup. His utility will persist, which is good because he himself will not. Active gadgets are good, but if you die, then they're gone, and so are you. So the passive gadgets of Fenrir will at least help for the time being. Ashen with 14 kills, by the way, almost the same tally as the rest of his team. As Benja is starting to get some kills, which is really nice, at least when it comes to the timing of the matchup. Unfortunately for Spacestation, they've fallen by the wayside. Fultz will be nearsighted as he wanders into one of those dread mines, and he will have to find the last 3 players of Soniqs in the final 30 seconds, Rob, or else SQ will regain the lead.
Yeah, it's another one of those Armory defenses that doesn't take place on Armory, and Fultz seemingly not aware of Surf's positioning up on these bookshelves inside of R6 room as they will do battle in a 1v1 on 12 HP. Fultz will whip out the sidearm and hit the headshot, dropping Hatch into the objective now in the middle of briefing, putting the plant down, but with 10 seconds ticking away and 2 defenders standing, it is just a matter of time as Grixer.
Soniqs also get to talk to their coach, who's Super, who is the new coach of this team. Goddess retired from Esports and retired from coaching, of course. And by bringing in Canadian, he's your IGL, and bringing Super in, into a 4v4.
Spacestation opting to go for something we haven't seen in a very long time, which is vertical grenade use to clear bandits and then to clear the position of the mezzanine shield, not the shield itself. You can see the amassing of Space Station attackers on the office door from mezzanine, waiting to approach, and now Surf will get cut down behind the office desk. The last Toxic Babe will come out from Ambi in response! What a shot on the SMG-11 towards Ashen to level the man count, and Rexon will tag in for another. The gas will continue to bleed Space Station dry as J90 hits the floor. It's just Fultz alone on 2 HP, and the timer will expire. We are getting closer to midnight for Space.
On Benja, who's playing above, as is Fultz. Benja was holding that kill hole. Fultz will mask the sound of his drop with that breach. Grixer picking off Fultz, though. It doesn't matter if they hear him or not. They still see him, and now it's Canadian to walk up into the engagement. Forrest, the one being targeted. J90 fixed, taken out. It's all Forrest who loses the duel. First North American team to clinch a spot at the Montreal Major, the Soniqs.
Unbelievable performance, and what was that? 7-4-7-4, border and layer. Clinical performance by the Soniqs, a team that had to scramble to put this roster together coming into the stage. The last minute change opened up the opportunity to bring Canadian in, and they are the first team to qualify.